Hello, good everyone, and welcome to today's session. In today's class, we'll be looking at an interesting aspect as far as accounting with tally is concerned, known as cost centers and cost categories in tally. Of course, you all know we are in the gateway of tally, where everything happens. So before we delve into how we handle cost centers, cost categories, costing here in Tally. What do we mean by a cost center in Tally? Now, when it comes to an ERP system like Tally, a cost center is like a department within that business, that organization. If you don't want to call it a department, it can be a unit within that organization you may be working for. Now, it is a department or unit within that organization or business where costs are incurred. It helps track expenses specific to that area, providing insight into where money is spent. Cost categories, on the other hand, group these cost centers based on common characteristics, making it easier to analyze and manage expenses across similar functions or departments. So what I'm trying to say here is that cost centers here in Tally helps you pinpoint where money is spent, and cost categories organizes these spending areas for better financial understanding in Tally. Before we start, I will always say, first of all, go to your features, F11, and check if that feature, because it is a feature, so you go to find out if that feature called cost centers, cost categories are already enabled or activated on the system. But before even you going through that, how do you assess cost centers and cost category features in Tally? You assess it from the master's center where we have account information. So you will come under master center, you click on account information. It brings you to the account information dashboard. On this dashboard, look in. You will see groups, ledgers, cost categories, cost centers, budgets, currencies, voucher types. Now, for some of you, on your own dashboard, you won't find cost categories and cost centers. They won't be displayed. Why? Because they have not yet been enabled or activated. So the first thing you must do is to go and enable it. So you're not like, why is it not here, and all of that. How do you activate the cost center and cost category in Tally? First thing you're going to do from your gateway of Tally or anywhere you are, click on F11. If you don't have F11 function on your keyboard, look towards this right hand bar. We call it the button bar. Below, you will see features, F11, you will see configure. Click on the features. You can see it brings it up, the feature, company features dashboard. If you don't want to follow that, you can click on F11 on your keyboard and it also takes you there. So whichever you like. Now for cost centers and cost categories, they are found under the company features dashboard in an option called accounting features. So how do you open it? You click on accounting features and you get to see a wide dashboard. On this dashboard, you are to look for cost centers. This is where it is found. On this part we call cost/profit centers management. There is this option after maintain payroll. You can see maintain cost centers. On your system, for the first time, is going to be no. You have to come here and change it from no to what? Yes. How do you change it? It depends on whichever method you want to use. Some persons love double clicking on it. Others we want to use their hand to type in yes. Okay, to type in YES. Then they select it here or they enter it on their own and click enter. So always turn it on. There is this other option that talks about use cost center for job costing. If you want to go with that option, you also turn it on. is the third one here talks about more than one payroll slash cost category. Do you want to create more than one cost category and payroll? Of course, no company operates just one payroll. So you also, for per employee and projects and all of that, you will have multiple. So it gives you that kind of ability to be able to handle all of that, as many as the case may be. So you come down and you go through the next, use predefined cost center location during entry. I will leave mine as no. So depend on your understanding of these options, then you go with it. So that's how to enable this option called cost center and cost category. Now, another thing I want you to understand here, let's look at a real life financial transaction on how this works. But before that, always click down and accept with yes. Perfect. So now we'll go back. Now, if we come to account info under masters, consider this business to be a retail business that is using Tally ERP. And let's say from what we have said so far, for XYZ Nigeria Limited, a retail business using Tally ERP, the sales department, because every retail business must have a sales department, the sales department can be a cost center. Tracking expenses related to sales activities, for instance, you can talk about sales activities like marketing materials. Now, the marketing and sales department may fall under the sales division, which is a cost category. I want to show you how they linked up. With this, it becomes easier to analyze overall costs in those related areas. Now, if the sales department incurs expenses for promotional materials, Tally ERP allows tracking this cost within the specific cost center, contributing to a more detailed financial overview. That's a good way of understanding. For some of us who do not really have a sound accounting background, because most times in our classes, we have those who studied economics, we have those who studied marketing, we have those who studied sciences and all of that coming to learn this. Now, also imagine a company with different departments, not just sales, not just marketing. Let's say they also have an IT department. The cost centers now is going to be sales departments, meaning if I'm coming to account info under the masters group in Gateway of Tally, I'm going to click on cost centers. What cost centers am I going to create? Under single cost center, I'm going to click create. Under multiple cost centers, I will create when there are many. Now, if I'm clicking on create, it therefore means that I'm coming here to create sales department cost center, marketing department cost center, IT department cost center. Once I'm done, I save. For cost categories, it means I will be having our operating expenses, which is going to include costs from all departments as a cost category. I'll be having our marketing expenses, which is going to be specific to the marketing department. I'll be having our IT infrastructure cost category, which is going to be specific to the IT department. By the time this is done, of course, each department definitely, when it comes to a real life scenario, are going to have payment of electricity bills, most cases, for each department, or it could be payment for telephone charges and all of that. What we do is that by the time we have done all this setup, we then use Tally to allocate the total bill, the total charges to the respective cost centers. Could be repairs, sales department repairs, marketing department repairs and maintenance, IT department repairs and maintenance. The cost categories will then help you categorize and analyze all those expenses collectively or individually based on your financial reporting needs. This is how we do it. By the time you have done this, you can then see how much each department contributes to the overall electricity expenses. For softwares like QuickBooks, Sage, we use what we call the class feature for us to be able to do such method of categorizing and analyzing certain transactions that needs clarity. And of course, we know that one of the characteristics of financial statements is understandability. And by the time things are being structured in this way, it becomes clear, it becomes very clear and good to go. Now, if we also look at it again, of course, we know of profit centers. So cost centers are departments, units to which costs or expenses are allocated, while profit centers are units, departments to which incomes are allocated. So we look at it from those angles. So that's for that. Cost categories is also important. Another example we can look at. Let's assume that you happen to work for a construction company, and let's say your construction firm was awarded a contract to construct a road. Okay, a road. Now, this road is the cost center in tally. Your construction company called Musa Construction Nigeria Limited was being awarded a contract to construct a road in Kano State. That road, that's a project. That road project is the cost center. Now, for this project, there are expenses that will be incurred by the project head. Since expenses will be incurred, it therefore means that certain amount of funds will be allocated to the project. Here in tally, those amount of funds that will be allocated to that project, we use the cost category feature to keep track of it. I believe that's clear now. So now that we understood this clearly, let's now move to setting up our cost center. So how do you set up your cost center in Tally? To set up your cost center in Tally, you go straight up to the gateway of Tally. I'll be waiting for everyone. Please go to the gateway of Tally. Hello. Go to the gateway of Tally. All right. Come to Masters Group or Master Center. Once you're there, click on Account Info. I've showed you shortcuts, all letters colored red. So Account Info, double click on it or click on letter A. It brings you to this new screen. If you don't see Cost Category Cost Center, what do? Click on F11 and go to Accounting Features. Then go and turn it on under Cost/Profit Centers Management category after Maintain Payroll. If you don't want to use this method, what did I say you do? I said you should go straight up to the button bar by your right hand and click on the feature called Features. You can see it there. So that's how to go about it. Good. Now let's proceed. We have this project given to XYZ Nigeria Limited. We want to handle it. What do? We are going to create a cost center for it. Step 1, I take it again. Gateway of Tally, Masters Group or Center. Then you click on Account Info. It brings you to the Account Info dashboard. Come down and click on Cost Centers. Cost Centers. It takes you to the Cost Centers dashboard. On the Cost Centers dashboard, where we have single cost center, click on Create. The difference between the two, when we say something is single, it means it's just one, two. But when it's more than two, you can use multiple cost centers just not to waste time. They all have, I'm going towards same end goal. Okay. Now we'll click on Create under Single Cost Center, and it brings this box where we have this word titled Category. Now for category, you're seeing where we have Primary Cost Category. But if this is not what you want to go with, then what you do is this: go back, create a category. So click on Cost Categories. Because if you come to display, you will see by default Tally has already helped you to create a primary cost category. So I'm going to use our escape key. I'm going to use our escape key for this. Okay. So we'll say escape. Then when we say escape key, what we are going to do next is this. So we say create. All right, so once we do this, we'll come here, name. We can call this category job. Then we'll click enter. Are we allocating revenue items? Yes. Allocating non-revenue items? No. We say yes. So this is saved now. So we'll go back. We'll go back. Now we'll come to cost centers. Create. We are now going to create that road project. So we'll say road. Sorry, category, select it, job. Name, we say road. Road construction. Then we'll click enter. Under, we use primary. Then we'll say Y for yes. So this way, you've just created the cost center and the cost category. So that's how we do it. Now, we also create ledger accounts. So what we'll do, we'll go back, because your cost centers has to be applied to your ledger accounts. So we'll go back, all of those expenses, this is where you now have to also set it up. So we'll come to masters group, account info, we'll click on ledgers. When it brings us here, we'll click on what? Single ledger, then we'll click on create. We'll click on create. I'm waiting for you all to get to this part. Are we all here? We want to create a ledger account that will apply our cost center to. So that's why we are here. All right. So one thing you need to know is that whichever ledger accounts we want to link with our cost centers must depend on the business structure and needs. Okay, so it could come in from different angles. We could talk about travel expenses, for instance. So you also need to know how to, come here to set that up. We could talk about maintenance costs. We could talk about training expenses. We talk about utilities, things like electricity, water, salaries, rent, and all of that. So these are things you just need to also put into consideration as far as this is concerned. So I am still waiting for us to be here. Okay, so let's kick off. So since our cost center is a road construction project, let's create ledger accounts to track expenses and income for that very job. Job project is still the same thing. Okay, so for road construction expenses, we should have things like equipment costs, we should have material costs, we should have maintenance and repair costs. So this is how we do it here. What we do here is this: when we come here, we are going to we'll come and give it a name. So name, for instance, name. So name, we can give a name for, we can say okay, maybe we have something like consulting fees. So we'll give a name, we'll call it consulting fees. So we'll come down under what group. So we'll come here and look for the group. So we could give this direct income. Okay, inventory values are affected, no. Currency of ledger, naira. Cost centers are applicable. Now for cost centers are applicable, since we are to apply it, we'll come down here and say yes. So you can double click inside it to change it to yes. Then you click down and then you say Y for yes. So I want to be sure that you all have done this. Please. this configuration screen called F12. Please take out time, go through it, study all of these features, apply those that are related to what you're doing. You can see we have show forest gains / loss as on voucher date. If this is related to what you're working on, then you also need to look into it and then see how you can get it done. So this is how we do the postings. You do it for whichever way you actually want to do it, whether it's your receipt, when it involves income and all of that. For instance, for expenses, we use payments. Now let's talk about income. Maybe there was an incoming cash, for instance, consulting fees. How do we go about that very one? We're not going to use payments because it's an inflow. So what we are going to do, we use payment for outflow. What you're going to use is what we call receipts to acknowledge that income has been received. So what we are going to do here is to click on F6 on our keyboard and it changes to receipts. So same pattern, we are going to do our credits and debits. So this time around, we're also going to do same thing. So we are going to credit our consulting fees. Okay, so we'll say consulting fees will be credited. How much? We said a 200,000 naira. Okay, now you can see that screen called the cost center allocation sub-screen popped up. What is it asking you? It's telling you, hello, in this cost center allocation, what is it for? We said it's for, we already know what it is for. That is for consulting fees. Okay, so for what? For job. So we'll say for a particular job. Then we'll come down, name of the cost center. We say the name is road construction. Then we say it's 200,000. We come down and yes, that's where we are. So the next we are going to do here is now to debit the account that receives. So we are going to debit that of our, let's say this was paid to our Access Bank. So we'll say Access Bank ledger account. So this is just what we are going to do. Then we hit our tab key. You remember the narration section, you can write a brief narration. Okay, for instance, our narration can be being funds received for job done on road construction projects. Okay, so it could be that this is a part payment, so you can also say being part payment and all of that. So depending on how you want to go through it, you're free to go through it. This is just how we do it. Click your enter and you accept. So take note of what I did. I first of all start by setting up my cost center, cost categories. Then I went straight up to go and create my ledgers. You saw those ledgers accounts I did. I did an account for income, like the consulting fees. I created an account for expenses, like that of the equipment cost expense account. And I changed that part where we talked about cost centers applicable. I did it, yes. And I was able to have all of this. You always see inventory values are affected. I changed that to no, and we're able to do this. So please practice all of this, because most times still on this project, I want to give you a classwork to do. Take for instance on the 2nd of February 2024, you're told that XYZ Nigeria Limited Construction Company purchased cement from Dangote Cement for, let's say, 1 million naira. 1 million naira, and it was, let's say, 50 bags of cement or 500 bags of cement. Okay, now you're now told that half of those bags are for the road construction project, and another half is for another project. Maybe the project is for a bridge construction, and you're told that all of this cement was actually kept in the warehouse in Port Harcourt. Okay, in Port Harcourt. So how do you post this? So this is where you should start your practice from. Always start your practice from this to see how this can go. And don't forget what I said, your narration field, provide narration. Anywhere you see references, provide reference, and see how every other thing are going to work perfectly for you. So everything here is all about setup. It's all about setup. And you get to understand that this is awesome. Trust me. Good. Now let me round up this session by showing you something awesome. Okay, so flow with me now. We have done something now on cost category. We have done something on cost center. But the good thing here is that I want to view, because we know that the end point of all of these processes, but in accounting processes, is reporting, and your report should be as clear as possible. Now there is a feature, there are features here Tally provides, ensuring that you get a clear view of how all of these are going. I'm going to take you there to reports. So click your escape key to go back to the gateway of Tally. On the gateway of Tally, when you scroll down to reports group, or reports what we call the reports center, okay, you will see an option called display. So we want to view our cost center reports. That's what we want to view, our cost center reports. What's our cost center report all about? All those postings we have done so far, we want to come and see, check them. I hope everyone is following. Hello? Okay, go to the gateway of Tally, come down, you will see this option called display. Yeah, so click on display. If you look here, there is still no cost center reports, but I will show you how to access it. Now, as an accountant, as a project manager, as anyone using Tally, you must understand that reporting is key. So when we talk about the cost center report, it is more like a summary that shows you how much money has been spent or earned in different cost centers. Cost centers in this case are going to be different departments, different units, different areas of that business. And by the time you're able to have such information, it will help you see where the money is going or coming from within specific sections. You know which projects, you know which departments, and all of that. Take for example, we just looked at a construction company called XYZ, and we are talking about them being awarded a contract to construct road in a particular state. Now imagine where we have this construction project and various departments were ongoing, like labor, materials, equipment, and all of that. Now the cost center report in Tally is going to break down expenses for each of these departments, giving you a clear picture of how funds are utilized across different aspects of your business. What I'm trying to say is what you will see now. We said understandability, clarity is very important. So how do you get to view this, to understand your overall financial situation? Is by coming back to the gateway of Tally. By the time you're done with all your postings and every information, come to your gateway of Tally, scroll down, report center, click on display. When you open this option called display, you will see a list of options from our trial balance. If you're asked to generate trial balance, this is where you do it. We have the day book, the account books, the statement of accounts, the inventory books, statement of inventory, cash/funds flow, payroll report, list of accounts, exception reports, quit. But why is the cost center report not here? It is under where we call the statement of accounts. So I will come here to click on statement of accounts. Then on the statement of account dashboard, you will see that the second option there is called what? Cost centers. I'm not talking about statistics. You can click on statistics to view what is showing you. You can see necessary information is showing you, but we're not talking about that. Statistics just gives you a quick summary about certain setup you have done, showing you the number of groups of accounts, ledgers, cost categories, cost centers, stock groups, stock categories, stock items, locations. You can see number of 11 locations, voucher types, and all of that, which are there showing you your currencies. We have two currencies, which you can double click, and it gives you a drill down to those currencies. For instance, the dollar, the naira, and all of that. Okay, but we are talking about cost centers. I'm going to double click on cost centers, and you can see where it brings us to, showing us category summary, cost center breakup, ledger breakup, group breakup. All these are interesting. They're interesting. Okay, now if we talk about the this first one called category summary, is very important. It's very important. Let's check it out. Double click on it. If you open it, you're now seeing our job category, and you're now seeing our road construction category. Now take a minute. What does this tell you? It's not trying to display the position of the cost centers. And of course, one good thing I love about it is the fact that I can, try to detect more, to go in more, to go in deep, to find out, okay, you are telling us that for road construction, we have spent 3,000 so far, and income 2,000 so far. Okay, 200,000 income generated, expenses is 3,000. How? What and what comprises of this? All I have to do is to double click on the amount, and it takes me to another screen showing me a breakdown by months. Awesome. a breakdown by month, and all this took place in January. So if there were postings that took place in March, that means I can view them. I can even still click on this January to take me more deep. And this is something that is awesome. You can see it, how Tally controls this for you. I double click and it takes me to the vouchers, the cost center vouchers, showing me when the date I recorded equipment costs for that project, the day I recorded consulting fees, I recognize acknowledge receipt of payment or income received for that very project, and you can see how all of this is. So this is what it does for you, the category summary. All these are perfect. They are perfect for you to get to see them here. Okay, so I don't know, everyone check it up everyone, so you get ask me your questions. Ask me your questions, please. I'm waiting. So you can see, and from here you can still drill down by clicking, and it still takes you to where you made that posting. Can you see? This is more like an audit. Okay, trying to audit into it to get deeper insights. More of analysis taking place here already. Okay, giving you what I could call a simplified overview that groups your expenses or income into broader category. Also bringing it down like this. So this is a detailed breakdown. Now, if we go back, let's go back to our escape key. How do we get in here? How did we get in here? I will take it again. I said to view your reports for your cost center for your project. You're handling a project for a company. How do you view your reports? How do you get to know how everything is being done and all of that? I said go to Gateway of Tally, come down, click on Statement of Accounts, or use letter S colored red. When you do that, it brings you to this dashboard. On this dashboard, you locate the second option called Cost Centers. The first is what we call the category summary. If you open it, you're now seeing something cool. This gives you a quick snapshot of how much money is spent. How do I know how much money is spent? The debit side. It also gives you a quick summary of how much money is earned in all areas. How do I know? The credit side. This way, it is making it easier for you and I to understand our overall financial picture. For example, we have a construction project where we are constructing road. With cost centers we created, we did a cost center road construction. Now we looked at different categories. We talked about setting up our ledger accounts, for ledger accounts for consulting fees, ledger account for equipment cost. Now, the category summary you're seeing here in Tally is trying to show you the total expenses for these major groups without delving into specific details. It's what I could call a high-level view, that helps you grasp the big picture of your financial activity across different categories within that organization. So if you want to take it to a low-level view, all you have to do is to double-click on each of them, and it drills down for you to view it. You come here, you still click, and you'll be able to view it to a low-level view. So this is just good one on how this works here in Tally. But this is not all. If you go back using your escape key, you will see that there is another option. Go back. Okay, so you will see that that's not the only option provided here. There is this one we also call the cost center breakup. So let's check that out. Can you click on it? Cost center breakup. Cost center breakup, or you use letter O. Fantastic. Letter O, because it is red. Any letter that is red is shortcut. So cost center breakup, you can see what it brings here for us to see, showing us road construction. Now, what this is actually doing within the cost center report is that it is just like looking closely at the detailed spending or income within a specific area or department. Hope we understood this. For example, assuming this was well elaborated, we would have understood it clearly. Let's say for that same road construction project we are handling, we have different cost centers like materials, equipment, labor. Now the cost center breakup here in Tally is trying to provide a detailed breakdown of expenses within each of those categories. For example, under labor, we could see how much was spent on wages, how much was spent on training or any other aspects. So it is what I call a zoom feature to show us where the money is going. Could talk about cost control. It helps you control cost. Now if I come here to say, oh, let me zoom into road construction to have an insight to help me manage and control costs more effectively in Tally, I will double click on road construction and I'm now going to see direct incomes, direct expenses. I can do my comparisons for this project called road construction. Awesome. That's what this very option does. That's what it does for you to see. That's not also all. You can also go back using your escape key. You will see this order we call, and you also go back. You can see the third one we call the ledger breakup. The ledger breakup. The ledger breakup. So it's also awesome. I always use this. So double click on it or click letter L that is colored red. Now, when we talk about this, you can see list of ledgers popped up. What this actually does is that within the cost center report, it's just helping you look at a detailed breakdown of how money is spent or earned in different categories within those departments or projects. Now, think of it like you are trying to open a kind of a financial microscope on a particular section of your organization. For instance, we have a construction of road project with various expenses. The ledger breakup here in this cost center report is going to show us details like labor costs, material costs, that's why you're seeing them. You're seeing consulting fees, equipment costs, material costs, and all of them, helping you to understand precisely, I would love to use that word, where funds are going within that particular department or project. Is still a kind of zooming, giving you a more detailed and insightful analysis within this context of cost centers here in Tally. So if I click on equipment costs, I now see where how much was actually posted to based on this. So this is another impactful one for you to also take note of. So click on the escape key. Let's go. Click on the escape key. Let's go down. Click on the escape key. Let's go down. Now the last there is what we call the group breakup. I don't know if everyone can see that option called group breakup. So you can click on letter G or you double click on group breakup. You can click on letter G or you double click on group breakup. Okay, so if you have done that, this one you are seeing lots of groups. Now it's still similar because we are all in the cost center reports dashboard, okay, within the same context. So it's just like a detailed breakdown of expenses or income within each department or category of that organization. If you look well, you'll notice that it is taking the information from your cost center report and providing a closer look at the specific types of expenses or income that contributes to the overall total, for each group or category. Imagine that's our construction of road project. And let's say you have categorized your expenses into these various groups. Groups like equipment, expenses, and all of them here. Now the group breakup in the cost center report in Tally is trying to show you exactly how much money was spent on each subgroup. All these are subgroups within these groups, each subgroups. Let's check it out. It's still a way of zooming. So we'll come here and say, okay, let's zoom our expenses direct. So if we double click on expenses direct, it shows us this. You can see. Now viewing it to understand, how our financial transactions, the ledger accounts that are involved, and all of that. Same way I can click on direct income and it takes us to 200,000, which we know is consulting fees. So this is just how all of this works here in Tally. So ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is how we run around this, okay, here in Tally. So you're expected to master this, you're expected to practice. Now once you're done viewing, you click on what? Quit, and you'll be able to leave this section. So don't forget to click on the cost centers and then click on category summary to view a summarized report about your project. And trust me, by the time you do this, it becomes more clear and more clear for you to handle all of this here in Tally. So please go through this. All right, so once you're done with this, you can then go back and access other reports like from the display gateway of Tally. You click on trial balance. It brings you here. You can see our trial balance displayed based on our postings. You can open account book like the day book. You also see all payment receipt based on all your parties and everything here. You also check out the account books. You see your cash/bank book. You can also see cash in and every information here. Also go through the ledger. You can see all our ledgers, and you can also drill down to zoom into each of them like Access Bank. It shows you all transactions made into Access Bank accounts. You can see all of them, the inflow and outflow. Okay, so you can also go and check for UBA Bank. You can also see and view all of that, all what came into and out. Okay, it's more like the bank account statements. So this year we'll get it from ledger under the display under account books. You can also go to group summary, group voucher, sales register. It will shows you all sales made. You can see none have been done. Not that I've showed you, and you could also drill down. Same thing goes with purchase register. Show you all purchases made. So all of this were done from account books. So you can see journal register and also view that based on your journal entries. Then we have a statement of accounts where we saw cost center statistics. Outstanding, that's where you go to view in terms of account payable, account receivable. You want to know how many clients are owing your business, your debtors. So come to Gateway of Tally, click on display under report center. Then you come down and then click on where statement of accounts, SOA. Then click on outstanding. You can now track your receivables if there is any. You can also track your payables if there was any. You will see it listed there, the party's name, the pending amount, the due date, and all of that. Okay, so you can see Tally is fantastic. Inventory books is also there. You can view all stock items reports you have. You can see we have only one stock group summary, sales orders book. You can see our group summary with setup, high thermal, Hisense, LG. You can also go back, you see your sales orders book, which are also displayed here. You can also see your purchase orders book. You can also see your stock transfers. You can also see your physical stock register, which I taught you about. Movement analysis is also key. Stock group analysis, category analysis, stock item analysis, group analysis, ledger analysis. You can also see your transfer analysis where we open what we call the stock journal. And I told you about that, showing you, incoming, outgoing, the source, and what we call the destination. You can also view all of that, provided transfers was made, and what we call the aging analysis, which is also very, very important. Now, one good thing here is that all of these are actually good features you must ensure that you master here in Tally, because by the time you have mastered them in Tally, it ensures that you're able to perform certain of these tasks here in Tally. So I believe you have understood this clearly. So I don't know if anyone have any question. If anyone have any question on this. Okay, yeah, I said that we are on the aging analysis. Now, for the aging analysis, thanks for that question. But the aging analysis is just like a financial snapshot that helps you see how long it takes for your outstanding invoice or bills to get paid. For instance, what it actually does, if we open it here now, and we're opening LG now, it will go into like try to, which better word will I use, categorize. Yeah, categorize these pending transactions based on their age or the time they have been unpaid. Now think of it as organizing your unpaid bills into different time buckets. For example, bills due, you can see it here, bills due within 0 to 45 days, bills due within let's say 45 to 90 days, bills due within 90 to 180 days, bills due over 180 days. Okay, you understand what I'm trying to say? Now this analysis provides a clear picture of which payments are on time, or which payments are slightly delayed or significantly overdue. That way it will help your business to manage their cash flow better and take actions to follow up on overdue payments. So what I'm trying to say is that aging analysis is very key. It's very key because here in Tally, I use it all the time. It helps me keep track of how promptly customers in my clientele companies are paying their bills. It gives me insight into the financial health of their business. Please check it out. Practice because the only way we understood this is by practicing, and the more you practice, the more you get to understand all of this perfectly. So this is where we are going to round up all our training for Tally. Thank you, and please go through this section. See you next time.